The following is a production of Florida State University's Office of University Communications. Coming up on FSU Headlines, Florida State University's 15th president takes office. We'll hear from the new chief executive. The winner is student veterans. Florida State University rewards outstanding filmmaking. And Seminole Athletics caps a stellar fall semester on the playing field. Stay tuned for these stories and much more. FSU Headlines starts now. Hello and welcome to another edition of FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker. Our top headline this month, Florida State University's 15th president takes office. And John Thrasher's first day on the job included a few minutes with FSU Headlines reporter Mark Vaughn. Take a look.
Florida State University President John Thrasher had a homecoming of sorts when he made his way to his office on his first day on the job. He earned an undergraduate and law degree from FSU in the late 60s and early 70s. So needless to say, the university has grown a lot since then.
When I first arrived on campus, I was 17 years old as a freshman coming to Florida State University. And certainly ever being president of Florida State University was the furthest thing from my mind. But the opportunity is here and it's happened and I'm just thrilled about it. It's a dream of a lifetime to be here at Florida State University. To be its president is just an incredible opportunity for me and Jean and I hope our FSU family, we're going to work very hard to make this the best place for our faculty, our students, and certainly our great staff to live and work and follow their dreams. And I'm going to give every ounce of energy I can to making sure that happens.
The biggest task over the next few years is reaching the university's goal of raising $1 billion as part of the Raise the Torch capital campaign.
Extraordinarily important. Obviously, we get a lot of funding from the legislature and from the state of Florida, being a public university in the state, but we can't get to where we want to get to in terms of attracting the best faculty, attracting great students, giving them the opportunities they want unless we have a philanthropic support. And so it's our job now to go out and make sure that $1 billion campaign is successful. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that happens.
And in order to make those goals come to fruition, it will take a team effort. And on his team, President Thrasher is enlisting the help of the administration, the faculty, the staff, and of course, the students of Florida State University. As soon as he was chosen by the Florida State Board of Trustees to serve as FSU's 15th president, he made it his mission to meet as many teammates as possible.
Actually just listening, meeting people, meeting faculty, meeting students, meeting with our staff, our great staff, and making sure that I'm as best prepared as I can be before I came here today.
And so now it's time to get to work, something President John Thrasher says he's more than excited to do. For FSU Headlines, I'm Mark Vaughn.
Not long after taking office, President Thrasher set out to meet as many Florida State alumni as possible.
Thanks for being here. We really appreciate it.
President Thrasher and company making their way around the Sunshine State to meet with the FSU faithful and talk about all the great things Florida State is doing and what's soon to come in the near future.
Well, I've known John since we were in school together in our undergraduate days, and he was a friend back then, and I am just thrilled. I think he will be the best president that Florida State has ever had.
I couldn't be more proud of this university and certainly more excited about its future. And for every minute that I'm there, I promise you, I'm going to give every ounce of my energy and love and passion for Florida State University.
My one suggestion is that all Seminoles get together and support the university and back President Thrasher. And I think if we do that, we not only can keep our dominance in athletics, but let's do it in academics as well. Go Noles.
The president's Florida State celebration tour made stops in West Palm Beach, Sarasota, Miami, Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, and Charlotte, North Carolina on the eve of the ACC championship football game. Every year, the Florida State University Student Veterans Association and the FSU College of Motion Picture Arts awards a filmmaker with the FSU Veteran Torchlight Award for outstanding achievement in filmmaking. This year's award goes to acclaimed independent filmmaker Rory Kennedy for her film Last Days in Vietnam.
For the complete withdrawal of all U.S. combat ground forces, we are finally bringing American men home.
The film is a captivating account of U.S. service members evacuating their South Vietnamese colleagues and friends during the closing days of the Vietnam War.
It is indeed a high honor and personal privilege and pleasure to present the 2014 Torchlight Award to Miss Rory Kennedy.
Kennedy is an Emmy Award-winning independent documentary filmmaker and the daughter of the late Senator Robert F. Kennedy. Her films cover issues ranging from politics to human rights to poverty. She brought her film Last Days in Vietnam to Tallahassee for the 4th annual Student Veterans Film Festival.
Tallahassee, this university is really known for its commitment to veterans, and it has a national recognition as such. And so when I got the call to participate in this, and Paul played a crucial role in that, I jumped at the chance because it's just a great honor to be here and to share this film with people who are really familiar with perhaps not this particular moment in history, but the commitment that our veterans have.
The FSU Torchlight Award is presented annually and includes a $25,000 award to fund future film projects. Speaking of the Student Veterans Film Festival, the 4th annual event was bigger and better than ever this year. Florida State's Collegiate Veterans Association and the College of Motion Picture Arts sponsor the festival, and it brings together the Florida State community to raise awareness for veterans issues. This year, the student veterans selected Rory Kennedy's film Last Days in Vietnam for the festival.
This is a festival that's alive, that's vivid, that's for the future, and for everything that these student veterans are communicating, that this is a campus that wants to invite conversation, that wants to invite understanding, that wants to invite a celebration of having served your country and having a piece of earth to come to and to engage in your education and be safe and have a home.
Well, coming up next on FSU Headlines, Florida State research shows a breakthrough in autism early intervention.
Our focus is getting them ready for kindergarten. If they can make it in a general education kindergarten class and do well, be ready, be prepared, and do well, then they're going to do better throughout school and into adulthood.
We'll tell you how at-home intervention is changing lives when FSU Headlines continues in a moment.
A spirit roams these parts, a spirit of respect, competition, and academic greatness. Some call our spirit myth, others call it legend. We call it Florida State University.
When you purchase a Florida State University license plate, you're supporting students, like me. Tag, you're in.
Welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker. Florida State University researcher Amy Weatherby may have some encouraging news for parents of children with autism. FSU Headlines reporter Molly Reed joins us now with the story. Molly?
Thanks, Dennis. Professor Weatherby and her team at the FSU Autism Institute have been working for the past 7 years with parents to develop a successful at-home autism intervention program.
So what we know about autism is it's a lifelong disability, and it can have really severe manifestations in adulthood. So the key is intensive early intervention. And there's been a bit of research showing for children who have intensive early intervention, during the preschool years they do far better, in school and in adulthood. So that intensive intervention can be very expensive. It usually requires about 20 or 25 hours a week of a therapist, a clinician's time. So what we did is developed a parent intervention. We taught the parents how to teach their children in their everyday activities. So we tried to use activities that parents are already doing, and we taught them strategies to promote learning in their toddlers with autism.
With the National Institute of Health Support, Dr. Weatherby and the Autism Institute are working with several other universities to identify autism and begin intervention in children as young as 12 months old.
The way we designed this study, we had planned it from the beginning that it would be viable for communities to actually implement this. It's cost efficient. It's something that families should have access to for free. So we need to teach providers how to do this. So that's our next goal.
The FSU Autism Institute has developed web-based courses and tools to teach these methods to parents and healthcare providers. You can learn more at autismnavigator.com. Dennis, back to you.
All right, Molly, thanks for that report. The end of another term means Florida State inducts another class of Garnet and Gold scholars. Founded in 2010, the Honor Society recognizes students that excel in and out of the classroom. Recipients must participate in 3 of 5 areas of study and extracurricular activities: international experience, internship, leadership, research, and service, in addition to excelling academically. The society has become one of the most prestigious at Florida State in its short history. During the fall induction ceremony, the new inductees receive a medallion symbolizing their accomplishments during their time at Florida State and proudly wear them again at the fall commencement ceremony.
Well, I think the Garnet Gold Scholar Society is something that's so typical of Florida State, where we encourage students to be engaged and supplement their in-the-classroom experience with their out-of-classroom experiences. And this is a way to encourage that even further, but then also to recognize that achievement. So I think it's also important because it helps students translate that learning into life beyond the university. So it's just typical of Florida State that we would encourage that engagement, reward it, recognize it, and then launch students into some great things because of their experience.
Diabetes affects more than 300 million people around the world, and the Florida State University College of Medicine is doing its part to raise awareness about the issue. FSU Headlines reporter Nadia Carone joins us now from the College of Medicine with more. Nadia?
Thanks, Dennis. The Florida State University College of Medicine played host to a special World Diabetes Day observation to inform the FSU and Tallahassee community about the issues of diabetes and its effect on society.
All over the world, communities, universities, and organizations are having celebrations just like this and in all kinds of different ways. It's a chance to really celebrate diabetes. So it's to acknowledge diabetes, for what it is. Worldwide, and really get the word out and raise awareness. And today FSU is for the first time able to contribute our voice to the World Diabetes Celebration, and we're very excited about that.
Florida State is doing even more to help people understand how diabetes affects millions each year. FSU faculty and students have launched the PLAD Journal. PLAD stands for People Living with and Inspired by Diabetes.
So many people live with diabetes, and the numbers are growing every day. They have questions about diabetes. Our researchers are attempting to answer some of those questions. The questions beyond just the science of diabetes, but also the questions about the practicality of living with diabetes. PLAD provides a great platform for us to be able to share this research. We're really looking for research from FSU, the surrounding communities, surrounding universities, and also universities throughout Florida, the United States, and the world to contribute so that they can be a part of this conversation and help us to improve the lives of people living with diabetes.
During the World Diabetes Day celebration, faculty and students updated attendees about the latest research and information being generated right here at Florida State. For more information, visit med.fsu.edu. Dennis, back to you.
All right, thanks for that, Nadia. Learning never stops thanks to Florida State University's Osher Lifelong Learning Institute. OLLI is an academic enrichment program for adults 50 years or older. There are no tests or homework, just learning for the joy of learning. This year, Florida State offered a special class taught by Emeritus History Professor Jim Jones, who taught at FSU for over 50 years.
OLLI is a wonderful program of lifelong learning. It's intended for Tallahassee residents who are over 50. It's just learning because you love to learn.
Anderson realized I've taught 57 years. In the last 20 years, I taught seniors and graduate students, so I had very good students. But the people in here are just totally riveted to what you say. So I'm lecturing and then I'm thinking to myself, there's not a single sound going on out there. And I look out there and those people are just totally focused on what you say, which is not only flattering, but also, really important. They clearly think what you're saying is important and they're glad to be here and all of that. So it's been a great experience.
So this is a far more drastic act than nullification.
Well, I've been a long-time admirer of our professor, Jim Jones. Of course, has taught as long as anybody I know of at FSU, and he's taught courses that I care about. He's teaching the prelude to the Civil War and next semester the Civil War. He also has taught in the past World War II. I hope he'll teach all of these for OLLI. He's been just a phenomenal teacher. I've tried to take notes and remember things. I've also started reading things that I might not have read if I were not taking his course. So it's been a great intellectual experience for me.
It's like listening and watching a movie. Obviously there are no visuals that he's projecting up there, but your mind starts clicking and you're just back there in the 1840s, 50s, 60s. Today, for example, in this class, I just was frozen. I just frozen in time. And I think that's why we're all so quiet. We're in another zone. That's all I could say about Dr. Jones's class. Just takes us somewhere far away.
And to learn more about how you can get involved, visit olli.fsu.edu. Well, imagine this. You've finished your doctoral thesis and now you must present it in just 3 minutes. That's what an outstanding group of doctoral students did during the annual 3-minute thesis competition. FSU Headlines reporter Kate Mueller was there for the competition and joins us now with more. Kate?
Hey, Dennis. It may seem like an impossible feat, but 9 Florida State University doctoral students were able to tell us all about the research in just 3 minutes.
Chances are, food and therefore your sense of taste was an integral part of that experience.
The auditorium is packed, the stage is lit, and for these talented doctoral candidates, it's their chance to show off their work. The topics range from mobile apps to rattlesnakes. These finalists are judged on communication style, comprehension, and engagement of the audience.
I focused on the Seminole, Cherokee, Creek, Chickasaw, and Choctaw Indians.
The goal is to have these students showcase their complex work and make it understandable for the general public. In the end, it was a neuroscience doctoral candidate, Kimberly Smith, taking home the top honor with her presentation on taste and the brain.
My research, I think everyone can relate to it because everyone enjoys food. And if you don't have an adequate taste system or a well-functioning taste system, then it can severely impact your pleasure in life or how you experience life. And so it's something that people can relate to, but not much research is done on the taste system. And so there's this bountiful literature that's just ready to be explored, this area that's ready to be explored. And so my lab with Dr. Alan Spector, we're trying to understand how the mouth and brain communicate with one another.
Smith took home the $500 first place prize, and Michael Mitchell took home second. And the People's Choice Award this year went to J. Henry Miller. Dennis, back to you.
Coming up next on FSU Headlines, the postseason is underway for Florida State athletics. We'll see how the football and soccer teams are playing when FSU Headlines continues in a moment. Welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker. The Florida State University football team made it through the regular season undefeated for a second year in a row, leading to a showdown with Georgia Tech for the ACC title. FSU Headlines reporter Mark Vaughn joins us now from Doak Campbell Stadium to tell us all about the championship game and where the Noles are headed for the postseason. Mark? Thanks, Dennis. The Florida State football team has played with a chip on its shoulder despite being the defending national champions. The reason, a perception nationally that they're not as good as last year. Well, the Seminoles had a chance to prove they are a championship team by beating Georgia Tech in the ACC title game. And they didn't disappoint. Florida State playing some outstanding offense in the title game. Jameis Winston having his best game of the year, going 21 of 29 for 309 yards and 3 touchdowns. It was running back Dalvin Cook, though, who earned the most valuable player honors after piling up 220 total yards, and Roberto Aguayo made 3 second-half field goals as the Seminoles survived another wild affair in a season that's been full of them. FSU is 13-0 for a second straight season and riding a school record 29-game winning streak. Seems pretty good to me. The Seminoles' ACC title now moves them into the inaugural college football playoff and a matchup with Pac-12 champion Oregon in the semifinals in the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. On to the soccer pitch. The quest is now complete. The Florida State women's soccer team wins the national championship. Senior Jamia Fields broke a scoreless tie in the 83rd minute, and the second-ranked Seminoles survived a late flurry from the 4th-ranked Virginia Cavaliers as Florida State captured its first national championship in program history with a 1-0 victory over Virginia in the finals of the 2014 Women's College Cup. Take a look.
It means everything. Every year we fought for this, but this year I just think the senior class is special and this team was special, and we weren't gonna leave today without a win. We fought for each other and we got the win.
It doesn't really feel like my last game. I don't think it's hit me yet that we're national champions, but pretty soon I think when we get back to tally and as it sinks in more and like more people like come up to me and say congratulations or something like that, I think it'll start sinking in.
We sit here proud and pleased and feel great that we were able to find the result today against, obviously Virginia's a great team, great program. They made it very difficult for us to break them down, and I wouldn't say that it was our most attractive game, but at the end of the day, we did what we had to do to find a result, and I'm proud of the effort, proud of the kids, and happy to have the result in our favor.
It took me maybe a week of being at Florida State, a week of training, and how sore I was, and getting used to a couple of things to realize that we really could make a run for it. And then on top of that, with the players that came in that weren't here, say like Emma and other players that we didn't have in the beginning, preseason, things like that, actually seeing the team come together and how well we learned each other and how close we got in such a short amount of time, I knew that this was a special year.
The last couple minutes were definitely touch and go, but as soon as it hit that 15 seconds and the ball went out and Megan took her time, I kind of knew it. I looked back at Cassie, started yelling, and then sawing the bench flood, and it was just chaos after that.
I just think we had so many different, we've had so many different attacking options, defending options, the play of the players off the bench. And I think that our group was as prepared, more prepared than we've ever been for this moment.
Well, as you can see, Seminole Athletics is having another banner year. That's going to do it from Doak Campbell Stadium. Let's send things back to you.
All right, Mark, thanks for the update. Florida State University is helping the campus community come together after the campus shooting at Strozier Library that left 3 injured in November. From campus vigils to rallies of support, the Florida State University community shows support for one another during a difficult time in the university's history.
The world is watching tonight, Florida State University. They're watching how we responded to this incredible crisis that took place early this morning. And I hope they're watching this crowd out here, this group of students, this group of people who care about this Seminole nation, these victims. I hope they're watching that because it's a true tribute to each and every one of you for the love that you care for this university and the people.
The range of emotions that we feel individually and collectively is vast. We are FSU, and we have hearts so large.
We are praying for all those affected by this unimaginable heartbreak and for our beloved university. At this time, I would like to thank, on behalf of the student body, the brave men and women of our FSU PD and the Tallahassee Police Department for the quick and effective response to students in need.
We're stronger, we're more passionate, and we care about each other. God bless you, and thank you for being here tonight to support this great university, the two victims who are there, and each and every one of you support each other.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of FSU Headlines, but you can see more news from Florida State University anytime at Florida State 24/7. It's the official news website of Florida State University, and you can find it at news.fsu.edu. On behalf of everyone here at Florida State University, I'm Dennis Schnitker. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.